Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, the channel that keeps you in the loop with all things Detroit Lions, delivering the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. If you're a Lions fan, you've come to the right place. Whether it's breaking news, in-depth analysis, or the hottest off-season rumors, we're here to make sure you don't miss a thing. And today, folks, we've got a topic that's sure to spark some heated discussions. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this one. We all know how thrilling the 2024 season was for the Detroit Lions. The team fought hard to secure that coveted number 1 seed in the NFC, and it looked like Detroit was ready to take the league by storm. But, as we all painfully remember, their journey ended abruptly when they were knocked out of the playoffs by the Commanders in the divisional round. It was a tough loss, especially considering how much promise the team showed. But here's the thing. After that disappointing end, the Lions have been hard at work during the offseason, making moves to strengthen the roster and position themselves for another run at the postseason. One of the first big moves Detroit made was signing cornerback DJ Reed to replace the departure of Carlton Davis III, who headed to the Patriots. That was a solid move, adding a proven player to the secondary. However, with the dust still settling from that signing, fans are starting to wonder, what's next? Are the Lions done making moves, or is there more to come? Could there be a trade on the horizon that could completely shift the landscape for the team as they prepare for the 2024 season? That's where things get interesting. There are two names that have been floating around the rumor mill recently, Amik Robertson and Alex Anzalone. Both players have made significant contributions to the team, but with the Lions' evolving roster, some analysts believe they could be traded this offseason. But could Detroit actually pull the trigger on a trade involving either of these guys? Let's dive into the details and explore whether or not the Lions might part ways with these two players, and more importantly, what that would mean for the team moving forward. Let's start with Amik Robertson. Now, this might not be a name you're used to hearing in trade talks, but according to Pro Football Focus, PFF, and Spotrac, Robertson has emerged as one of the most likely candidates to be traded this offseason. But why? After all, Robertson has shown flashes of potential since joining the Lions. In his first season, he was strong in run defense, earning an impressive 89.7 grade from PFF, but his coverage grade was a bit more modest at 62.2. Certainly not terrible, but not quite the standout performance you'd expect from someone who's aiming to secure a long-term spot in the starting lineup. The big reason why Robertson could be on the move is that the Lions have been stacking their secondary with young talent. In last year's draft, they selected Ennis Rakestraw Jr. in the second round, a player they clearly see as a potential future star. Add to that the likes of Terrion Arnold, 22, Brian Branch, 23, and Kirby Joseph, 25, and you start to see the writing on the wall. The Lions are building a young, dynamic group in the secondary, and Robertson, at 27 years old, is one of the older players in that room. With the Lions seemingly focused on developing their younger cornerbacks, the question becomes, does Robertson fit into that future? Given the youth movement happening in Detroit, it's possible that the Lions could decide to trade Robertson while his value is still relatively high. With his ability to shut down the run, there could be teams out there looking to add a solid cornerback to their roster. And with Detroit's growing depth in the secondary, it might make sense to move Robertson in exchange for an asset that could help the team in other areas, whether it's a future draft pick or a player at a different position of need. But what kind of return could the Lions expect for Robertson? Could they land a starting caliber player, or would they be better off stockpiling draft picks for the future? The possibilities are intriguing, and fans are already speculating on what the trade market for Robertson might look like. Now let's shift gears and talk about Alex Anzalone. At first glance, you might think that Anzalone is an unlikely candidate for a trade. He's been a key player for the Lions, especially last season, where he was one of the team's top linebackers in pass coverage. But here's the thing, Anzalone is entering the final year of his contract, and with the Lions having invested in other linebackers like Derek Barnes, who recently signed a multi-year extension, and Grant Stewart, it's possible that Detroit might look to move on from Anzalone to free up some cap space or bring in a different piece to the roster. But trading Anzalone would be far from a simple decision. While the Lions have other linebackers who could step into bigger roles, Anzalone's leadership on the field is something that can't be easily replaced. He's not just a solid linebacker, he's a vocal leader, a captain, and someone who brings energy to the defense every time he steps onto the field. Jared Goff, the Lions quarterback, has spoken highly of Anzalone, calling him the quarterback of our defense, and head coach Dan Campbell has echoed this sentiment, saying that Anzalone brings a level of confidence and leadership that's vital to the team. His ability to shut down tight ends and pass coverage, especially when matched up against some of the best in the league, was a major asset last season. But with Anzalone's contract winding down and the Lions' defense continuing to evolve, could Detroit make the difficult decision to trade him? And if they did, would they get back a return that justifies moving on from such a crucial player? It's hard to say. Teams in need of an experienced linebacker could certainly show interest, and Anzalone's leadership and experience could be exactly what a contender needs to make a playoff push in 2024. But would the Lions be willing to part with him, given how important he is to the defense's chemistry? This is where the dilemma lies for Detroit. The Lions are in a position where they have to balance the immediate need for experienced leaders like Anzalone with the long-term goal of building a championship-caliber team. Trading him could provide cap relief or even a valuable asset in return, but there's a risk involved in losing a player who's been a cornerstone of the defense for the past few seasons. So, what are the Lions really looking for in these trade scenarios? If they do decide to move on from Robertson or Anzalone, they'll want to make sure they're getting something substantial in return. Whether that's a high draft pick, a young player with upside, or a seasoned veteran who can fill an immediate need, the trade has to be worth it. The Lions are in a unique position right now, coming off a strong season but still trying to take that next step. Every move, every decision could have a major impact on the team's future. As fans, we're left wondering, could Robertson or Anzalone be on their way out? And if they are, what does that mean for the Lions' 2024 season? Will the team be able to replace their leadership and experience, or will they end up missing key pieces of their defense? But what do you think? Do you think trading Amik Robertson or Alex Anzalone is the right move for the Lions, or should Detroit hold on to them and continue building around their veteran leadership? I'm dying to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments below, and let's talk about it. Personally, I feel like moving on from Robertson makes more sense right now. The Lions have so many young, talented players in the secondary, and a trade could help bring in another piece to strengthen the roster. But I'm torn on Anzalone. His leadership and energy are so vital to the defense, and I don't know if it's worth losing that just to get some cap space. It's a tough call, but I trust the Lions front office to make the right decision. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We've got a lot more content coming your way, and you won't want to miss a single video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Lions News Fan Report.